Welcome to Girl Talk with Girl Spot, a podcast run by women in a weird envy that wandered in, dedicated to talking about movies, video games, books, and women's involvement in those industries. I am our final kiss, a queen G of Girl Spot Gaming.
I'm Timeless Storm. I'm a team member of Girl Spot Gaming.
I'm Oracle Arcana, another team member of Girl Spot with
I fucked it up!
I fucked it up!
Wasn't me. So that's
I'm
our weird envy who can't speak. Okay, we love you.
Yeah.
Okay, we love you.
NB, for those who aren't familiar, is a shorthand for non-binary. It is literally the letters NB.
Speaking of, if y'all want to say your pronouns, I go by she, her.
I am also she, her.
I'm they, them. Although I will respond to anything because I kind of have to.
Today we're going to be talking about some Am I the Asshole posts on Reddit. And we're going to be discussing them and deciding for ourselves, are they indeed the asshole? So feel free to follow along and put your opinions in the chat. And we're going to start it off with, am I the asshole for saying my husband's family traditions make me feel like a glorified surrogate and not wanting to participate? My husband's family have a family tradition that makes me feel like a glorified surrogate. Essentially, when someone has a baby in the family, the husband and the grandfather both give the mother a substantial amount of money. The way my husband explained it to me made it seem like it happens immediately after giving birth too. When he told me, I made a face and he asked me why. I said that the tradition made me feel like a glorified surrogate and it was like he and his family were buying my baby from me. My husband got really offended and said it was a nice thing his family did for the new mother and that in a few months I should just thank his dad and not say anything negative about this tradition as it was important to them and him. I told him I wasn't sure I wanted to participate, and now he's upset and thinks I'm reading too much into it. Am I the asshole?
Honestly, no.
No.
You're definitely not the asshole.
I don't think she's an asshole, but I think she is reading too much into it. It is kind of nice.
I
But
mean, yeah.
I don't see, like, it's hard because we don't have the other side on how he actually said it. Maybe he just explained it badly. Because isn't it normal, at least in American society, it's normal that when you have a baby, people get you gifts. And generally it is in the form of money. But perhaps the way they said it made it sound like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And maybe he did just explain it badly. Because, like, that is a thing that can happen.
I'm the queen of explaining things badly. And the guy, I don't understand why you don't understand. Why I don't understand why you don't understand.
I am the same way, Kiss. It's okay.
It's not just me. It's not just me. I'm
No,
not
not
at
just
it.
you.
However, I'm torn because I would have liked a lot of money when I had a baby because, having a baby's rough.
Babies are expensive.
But I would also
They're
be
very
offended if I felt like they were trying to buy my kid as well. So, I mean, I kind of get it. I don't know if I'd say anyone's the asshole, though.
Yeah, that one's kind of a difficult one to say if anyone is the asshole.
Yeah.
I personally don't think anyone is, just because it could be miscommunication, because...
Absolutely.
Miscommunication.
Miscommunication for the win.
Yay!
Yay! All right, Timeless, what do you got for us?
I got, am I the asshole for not telling my partner about my second job right away? This person is on mobile and English is not their first language.
Okay.
So, last year in October, I came into contact with someone from the police who offered me kind of a mini job opportunity. All I have to do is going to certain events and tell them what/who I saw and maybe answer some specific questions. Kind of like a spy, but not in the style of Hollywood. Of course I had to sign a paper that said I can't tell anyone, but the police officer told me I could tell my partner if I wanted to. I only told my partner yesterday because I'm about to go on some events and I wouldn't want to lie to him. I did lie to him when it came to meetings with the police, and instead I told him I was meeting some friends in town. Today, he started acting very hurt and told me he doesn't trust me anymore because I lied to him about my meetings. He only talked to me today because he said he wanted to sleep over this for a night. We're both 30 years old and together for 2 years. So, am I the asshole for not telling him back in October about that second job with the police?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not really.
I think they are because, and this is just how I view relationships. I think you should be 100% honest with your partner, and it just seems like such a minuscule thing to lie about. So if they can lie about that, what else can they lie about? Like, what was the reason? Why did you have to lie about it?
Yeah, like they explicitly got permission to tell their partner.
Right. Like if they weren't allowed, yeah, no, not at all. But I don't see the point of not telling them and lying. It's the difference between not telling them and then lying about what they were actually doing.
Yeah.
Right, and if they had lied about it later and had continued to lie, which, I mean, lying about meeting the police and saying you were meeting friends, yes, that's not something that seems like it's necessary. I mean, I don't understand why it was necessary for them to lie by omission to their partner in the first place. I don't think they're an asshole for it, but I don't understand why in the first place they had to lie about it. Or, because, I mean, it is still lying. It's lying by omission.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For me, if my partner lied about something so small, it would make me think, like, if it was that easy for you, what else would you be hiding from me, or could you be hiding from me?
That's fair enough.
All right, what is yours?
Alright. Am I the asshole for giving my son my mother's necklace? I lost my parents when I was very young, and I have spent decades recovering from the trauma. One coping mechanism I had was holding on to all their things. My parents were well off, and I inherited almost all of their possessions and assets. My therapist and I have talked about why I feel the need to cling to these things that have no use to me, and I've said that I might be open to giving some of their things to someone who would use and treasure them. I didn't have a concrete plan or timeline for doing so, though. My mother owned a pearl necklace that was passed down from mother to daughter for generation. My great-great-grandmother brought it with her to America when her family fled Germany. So obviously it has immense sentimental value. My mother didn't have a daughter, so the necklace, like everything else, has been sitting in my house for decades unworn. So, on to my son. He's very into style and fashion. He wears a lot of different types of outfits. He'll wear a suit and tie to a work function, and then a mini skirt and a mesh shirt to go clubbing with his friends. He wears jewelry sometimes and owns a few elegant, classy pieces. No pearls, though. A few months ago, my son was showing me an all-white suit he bought to wear to a friend's party. It was a really nice suit. All of a sudden, I was struck with the idea that my mother's pearls would look great with that suit. So I went and got them. My son became very emotional, and I decided that he should have the pearls to keep. I don't wear necklaces, but he does. I think my mother would want him to have the pearls. When I talked to my therapist about this, she said I made a huge step forward in processing my grief. Now that I've made that first step, it feels a lot more doable to go through my parents' other things. I feel good about my decision. My cousin, Mom's niece, called me today, livid. She said I shouldn't have given the pearls to my son. She said if they went to anyone, they should go to her or her sister. She claims that they've now left the family. I don't really understand her perspective. I get that the pearls are supposed to go from mother to daughter, not father to son, but that chain was already broken when my mom died without a daughter. I don't see how the niece is better than grandson in this scenario. Still, my cousin is a really nice person, so there must be something I'm not getting. Is this like a woman thing? Can a woman explain why I might be the asshole?
I vote for not the asshole.
Definitely not the asshole.
Yeah, that was my thought too. It's like, and when I was reading through the comments on it, it's like, majority of people, actually, I think everyone was agreeing that this guy wasn't the asshole. It was the niece that was being an asshole.
Absolutely.
I mean,
definitely.
Considering the fact that, again, like he said, the chain was already broken. There's
right,
and it's still in the family because he is still blood family.
Absolutely.
And I mean, maybe if you gave him to, if they were going to the kid's wife, there might be a bit more of an issue. But even still, she has the last name. When she marries into the family, she will have the last name.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Either way,
I
not
agree,
the asshole.
I don't think is the asshole either. It's still parent to child, still down the same line, and even like
that's the important part. I feel like.
Right, and that child
for
may
sure.
in the future have a child, that they will pass it down to. It still stays in the same line. Like, that thinking because it's male to male or whatever, father to son, it's stupid. It's still in the family. They obviously didn't have a daughter to pass it down to, so I went to son. There's nothing wrong with that. Definitely not the
Right.
asshole.
Although I would have liked to see the suit that the pearls had gone to, because that would have been just something nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say he sounds like a lot of fun to party with, though. Like...
Probably.
Hey, he's fluid. I like him.
I like it. My favorite kind of people to party with. They always have the most fun.
Well, we don't, and the thing is, people were, like, making the assumption that it's homophobic. No, it's not necessarily homophobic. It could just be that this guy's presentation, he doesn't feel the need to present as a particular gender. He
Right.
just knows how to dress for different occasions.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Could be the niece, though, who might be feeling that way.
It could be.
Stupid.
And it could just be, honestly, it could just be greed, because
Yeah.
considering the fact that he said that his family was well off, those are probably genuine pearls.
Oh, yeah.
And those are not cheap.
That is true.
Yeah.
But the fact that they left the family, like, stop.
They
Yeah,
didn't leave. They're
no.
still in the family.
They're still very much in the
Hello?
family.
That's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard in my life. They left the family.
Unbelievable.
All right. Am I the asshole for telling a woman she doesn't deserve kids? Okay, so I didn't read this one. I just read the title and I was like,
That's how most
So,
of mine are. Is I didn't read them. I just read the title.
There's like one or two I read through a little bit just to make sure like what I was reading about.
Mhm.
But okay. So the first set, I know the title sounds super bad, but give me a chance. The woman in the title is actually my grandmother's cousin's daughter. I'm going to call her B. So when I was 6 through 11, I used to be sent to B's house because she ran a tuition, and my mom thought it was a good idea to send me to B. B treated me horribly. She would lock me up in her bathroom when I didn't say the right answer, made me to sit down while other children sat on the bed. I'm assuming she meant on the floor.
Tutor?
No, it says
Yeah.
tuition.
I'm assuming they mean...
Yeah, and I think she meant to, I'm
Tutor?
wondering if this isn't her, like, English isn't her first language either. She would scare me with candles, tell my mom shit about me, which would get my mom pissed off, cut off my hair even after my mom told her no. She would also not give me food, but also give me too much food and make me forcefully finish it. Her husband wasn't nice either. When I'd kind of not listen to B, he would corner me, scream at me until I cried. I don't remember why my mother never stopped her. My mom would threaten to call B when I'd not want to go to school or dance class. So everything that I did wrong would be reported to B, and B would be super mean to me. I moved cities because my mom got remarried. Thankfully, I never met B, but a few other unfortunate times. Now I'm 17 and I moved back to the same city B lives in. I'm currently staying at a hotel and my grandmother decided to visit her cousin. We go to her cousin's house and B's there. I got angry and asked my grandmother why she didn't tell me, to which she said that it was because I won't agree to visit if I knew. So B started speaking to my mom about how she's not able to have kids and the number of times her treatments failed. I sat there and listened. The next 3 whole hours was a whole conversation about me. She brought up the awful things she did as a joke. My mom is laughing about it like it was no big deal. Then she tries to make a joke about how I'm going to end up in an abusive relationship. Both my mom and grandmom were in abusive relationships, so she basically makes a joke about how I'm next. After some while, she tried to braid my hair and I didn't let her. My mom told me that I didn't like my hair being touched, and B goes, well, she doesn't get to act like that with me. I now got more and more angry. I told her to back off, and B had the audacity to tell me she'll lock me up in the bathroom while she smiled at me like it was funny. I looked at her and said, do you realize why all your treatments failed? It was simply because God knows you don't deserve children. B goes absolutely nuts, screams and cries about how I taunted her. My mom quickly got up and asked me to apologize. I told her she could spend her time dealing with B, but I don't plan on doing that. I left the house and went back to the hotel. My family told me how worse I am and how horrible I am to be a woman and say that to B, but I just didn't say anything and slept. They're all mad at me and my stepdad isn't. He said that it was needed after what she did to me. I just want to make sure I'm not the asshole for my own peace. So am I the asshole?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not. That's something I would say.
she
Oh yeah.
she was literally abusing this person, and then got upset when they said that she doesn't deserve to have children.
Right.
You think she is?
So I think how she said it was bad, but I agree that she should not have children.
She absolutely should not have children.
Nope.
Yeah, but I think how she said it was horrible, and it was in a time of she was hurt, and obviously the things you say.
Sometimes people just need to hear it bluntly, like a smack in the face.
Oh yeah. I'm all for when you're confronting an abuser who abused you for, what, 2-3 years? Something like that?
Yeah, 4 years. 5 years. I can't math. 5 years.
5 years? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I would probably have done the same thing. I would have looked the woman dead in the face and said, "You don't deserve children, and that's why you're not getting them." That is the universe way of saying that, hey, you're a bad person. You should not raise children because you're going to treat them the same exact way you treated that girl.
If you can't treat someone that's not your child correctly, then you don't deserve to have your own children.
So I get what Hot Pocket's saying though. Like, I think with the situation, like, I honestly, and I'm absolute truth, I would have said a lot worse. I think what she said was bad, but I agree with what she was saying. Does that make sense?
No,
that makes
I know
sense.
what you're saying. Although, truthfully, that I don't know if I would have gone with the kid. I don't know if would have gone the kids route. I mean, if it was relevant, because what she said something about. I know she said something about the girl being next in an abusive relationship. What was the thing that set her off?
That she would lock her up in the bathroom and she was laughing about it.
Yeah, okay. That immediately, I think I can understand why she said what she said.
And it's also... Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, her response was a trauma response.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And I think that's why I would say she's not the asshole, because, like, she was abused for years. Her mom, her grandmother never stopped it. She is literally talking shit about your kid. If someone talked bad about my kid in front of me, I would punch them in the mouth. Like, but her response was a trauma response. So, like, again, I don't think what she said was right, but her response was valid.
Her response is definitely valid, and again, being told that even quote unquote jokingly that she's going to lock her in the bathroom. No, because her immediate thought, I can see where this girl's mind probably went. Her immediate thought was probably that this is probably something that she would do to her own child.
Probably.
Right.
And that might have been the thing that prompted her to say it.
It bothers me, too, that the stepdad was the only one who was like, she was wrong, like, the B was wrong. Like, the fact that her mom didn't stand up for her kid. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, right. What the fuck is up with that?
I don't get.
I don't know.
That would kill me if my parent didn't stand up for me.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, what the fuck is up with that? Why would you not... First of all, why would you let that happen? You knowingly let your daughter continue to go back to this person. Even after she, 1, cut your daughter's hair without your permission, after you told her not to, locked her in the bathroom, wouldn't feed her, force-fed her, made her sit on uncomfortable surfaces while other children were sitting on comfortable surfaces. Like, why is this child being singled out?
Yeah, it's literally all abuse.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Ooh, that one was way more touchy than I thought it was going to be. All right, Ty, let's go ahead.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for a meal I didn't order or want to eat? My 36 female husband, 40 male, and I agreed late last night to order pizza tonight for dinner. We agreed on a place. My order was made clear, and that was that. When we order out, we always split the bill, no biggie. Fast forward to tonight. I had a headache and took a nap during this, and during this time he decided to order dinner as we had previously discussed. Everything's cool so far. When I wake up, he informs me he ordered dinner from a different pizza place because it was cheaper. It really wasn't because he added side items, but that's a moot point. What I typically order from the restaurant we agreed upon isn't made the same at all from where he ordered. It was so different, so unappealing to me that I didn't want to eat it. Apparently, I'm being dramatic because I don't want to pay for something I didn't eat. He's upset because he meant well and it isn't his fault that it isn't made the same. I told him that ordering from a different place risks that possibility. Am I overreacting? Am I the asshole?
Mm,
Okay, so this one's tough because it's again a relationship thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like for me, like if Data was here, yeah.
Overreacting.
Overreacting because I'm weird with food. Like
Yeah.
if Data was here and I specifically told him what I wanted, and then he went somewhere else, didn't tell me, didn't ask me what I'd want from that particular place, I'd be upset, but I would still pay half.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't eat, would still be upset. But we would have a conversation. So yeah, I think it's overreacting, and I think I wouldn't say she's an asshole though. I just don't agree. Like I would still pay even if I didn't eat it.
Yeah, I think this is one of those everyone kind of sucks here
Yeah,
situation.
that are they married?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. In this case, it doesn't really matter. I mean, they may have a shared bank account for like the household bills, but they may have their own separate banking accounts
Right.
for their own individual purchases.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, that's also kind of a safer way to do it.
That's how a lot of people do it now.
I mean, it's kind of a safer way in case
Yeah.
there's a divorce that happens.
Yeah.
It's much easier to split the assets than if it's just if that's that one account.
Yeah. Like if, for example, so Brian and I have a joint bank account, so that part doesn't matter. But like if he's gonna order pizza, like he knows what I generally like on pizza, regardless of how it's made. So if he's like ordering from Zappos, he's gonna order from Zappos, and then he's like, well, it's cheaper if we get it from Domino's, so I'm gonna order you the exact same pizza that you generally like, but I'm gonna get it from Domino's instead. Yeah, their pizzas are made differently, but like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like it depends on what it was too.
I guess
Right.
so.
If it was, I mean, if it was a pasta dish or something like that, yeah, that's gonna vary wildly from place to place.
I think
But-
I think in this it's a communication thing. Like
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
all he had to do was say, "Hey, it's cheaper if we order from here. What would you like from here?" And she could have been like, "Well, no, I'd really like to order from there," or like they discussed it. Not, I'm just gonna do it, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Timeless. This is a situation where everyone sucks.
Yeah.
No one's really an asshole. Everyone does suck, but she is kind of overreacting.
Yeah,
I
like
think it's just a huge miscommunication and overreaction.
he should have said, "Hey, I'm ordering from this place instead. What do you want?" And she should not have overreacted.
Didn't you say she was sleeping when he ordered? Like she had gone to sleep with a headache or something?
Yeah, but it's really easy to just be like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm
Right.
ordering from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do you want the same?"
No, I
thing?"
agree.
Yeah, right. And then he could have just been being nice and not waking her, but then again, it's communication.
Yeah,
It is. And that's where a lot of couples fail.
Yep.
Yes.
that's where a lot of these "Am I the assholes?" come in. Like they all would have been
Yeah.
solved if you just communicated better.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with Brian's. Like, if I have a headache or a migraine, do not touch me. Do not wake me up.
Right, and
You will
that's-
probably get stabbed. Not literally. For legal reasons, that's a joke. But,
Yes, absolutely.
It's also
yeah,
like
they definitely had
depending
poor communication.
on how long you've been together, like you tend to know what the other person likes from different places.
True.
Like
Right.
Brian knows what I like if we're ordering from like one pizza place to another. It's
Yeah.
a lot of the time
Yeah.
it's the same. Sometimes it's different. I get something different from Domino's than I get from like Round Table.
Right.
That's fair.
That is fair.
Yeah,
It's just a pizza, man.
it's just pizza.
Just a pizza.
Arc?
Alright, this one is really simple. It's a longer post, but it's really not. It's really simple. Am I the asshole for learning Spanish? This is so long, I'm so sorry. Background, I'm white with mixed European grandparents. My mom's parents were born here in the U.S. by people in the U.S., but my dad's parents are different. My paternal grandmother was 100%, as far as we know, Slovakian. No idea where that actually is. Can someone look that up and tell us where about that is? I'm guessing it's Europe somewhere. And my paternal grandfather was German. My dad was born in Germany, and they moved around to a ton of different countries. But we are white and just say American. We mean no disrespect by this. My dad and I are paler than Casper with light blue eyes, and I have a ton of freckles. So it's just easier and more fitting because we don't follow any cultural customs, etc. I'm also a preschool teacher in the mornings, and I work the after school daycare in the afternoon. I am finishing my elementary education degree. Yesterday, Friday, I was working with a woman who is Hispanic, and I really look up to her for a lot of reasons. In the past, I have had several kids who only spoke Spanish or a mix of Spanglish, and I currently have 2 kids who know very little English. One does better when spoken in Spanish to, and doesn't respond at all to English. The other one knows more English in basic things like bathroom, wash your hands, sit down, clean up, etc. In high school, I took 3 years of Spanish, but didn't retain much. I don't think anyone did.
Yeah.
In college, I started taking a level 100 Spanish course and learned more. I am still continuing learning the language. So yesterday, I was telling the coworker who I'm learning Spanish, and if it would help to learn certain phrases so that when I'm alone with the kids, the 2 who use Spanish more can understand better and feel included. She said that as a white person, that was wrong and super insensitive and cultural appropriation.
What?
I felt bad immediately and asked if it was rude and that I didn't mean to be offensive by my statement at all, or that I meant to make them seem different at all. That I just wanted to help them and include them more. I feel so bad when I'm talking to all the kids and the one who knows hardly any is just staring at me. I usually do things with them to help them understand, though, so it's not like I expect them to just know what I'm saying, either. I really don't want to be insensitive to it or be offensive about it. I also know as someone who is extremely white that it might come off the wrong way, but I didn't before. Am I the asshole for wanting to continue learning and use Spanish in the classroom when it's needed?
No. That's helping the kids understand and do better. There's nothing asshole-ish about that.
I did say that it was a simple one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just simply no. And someone even pointed out, no, you're not. That is not cultural appropriation when you are when you're trying to learn more and trying to learn a language. That's not cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is when you are actually taking culture and you are stealing a culture and you're not actually trying to honor it. You're more or less using it as a fashion statement. This is trying to actually include other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Brian. Instagram, look at my new boyfriend. Twitter, I can't get a boyfriend. Reddit, my 21-year-old female boyfriend, 53-year-old male, forbids me from going into the basement and has a sock drawer full of missing women's driver's license. Am I the asshole for being uncomfortable? The wedding is in 3 hours. Feels like some of the stories are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I have a short one that's pretty easy as well. Am I the asshole for being upset at my sister getting my college fund money? Hi, I am a 17-year-old female. My sister is 21 female, was always a rebellious child, but never got in trouble. Our grandfather left us both funds for college in his inheritance. The only catch was to actually go to college. My sister was the party animal and she got pregnant at 18. My parents took care of everything and she still lives with us with no father in the picture. I wanted to start looking for colleges now to be better prepared, but it turns out I have no money left. I am literally sobbing while writing this. My parents took my entire money for college and gave it to my sister. I raised this issue on Christmas, and I'm being blamed for ruining Christmas and not loving my niece or my sister. I told them, yes, I really hate each and every one of them, and I feel like an asshole for that. My parents have offered $10K in exchange to calm me down, but the amount was literally $80K, and they are now telling me that I'm greedy. Am I the asshole? No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. What the... Enabling parents are killing our generation.
Right?
Oh my god. What the fuck? I get wanting to help, but she had her own money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
it's cool you want to help your kid. She's got pregnant, whatever, you want to help. But taking that away, like the opportunity to better themselves, which the sister wanted to do, and you took that away from them? Come on.
Yeah.
yeah.
How dare you be upset we stole 80K from you? Exactly. That's insanity.
That's absolutely insanity.
Of course you're not the asshole. Don't feel
Definitely
bad.
not. No, don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad. The fuck? Do you have any short and sweet ones, time?
Uh,
That's a no.
I admittedly didn't actually read through any of mine. I was just like, went based on the title. But my next one is, am I the asshole for calling in my stepdaughter's active felony warrant out of anger? I just thought that sounded interesting.
Yeah. My next one is a doozy.
Uh-oh. I have two that are kind of like about men being dumb about women.
Nice.
See?
Amazing.
Okay. My stepdaughter and I never got along. When we met, I had a brain injury and she had issues from her childhood. Her living with us meant drug addictions and drama. I did not always respond as a normal adult would, and I take responsibility for the awful things I said. I regret almost everything she's mad at me for, and I do not expect forgiveness. It took a great deal of therapy and introspection to get that far. My husband and I have been together for almost 13 years now. In 2020, she asked if her and her boyfriend could come live with us. She was 20. We did not have room in our apartment for them and their pit bulls, so I bought them a van and filled it with things they would need. When they arrived, she told us she was pregnant. During their during their time in Oregon, we paid for almost everything. She never worked. All the while she could come into our home and make snide remarks about Valentine's cards on the wall and other such things until we agreed they should only be allowed to shower and eat there. I did their laundry and had my husband return it to them. He had zero restrictions on where he could go or who he could see. I just didn't want all the drama in my home anymore. This is almost 8 years since I'd seen her and I'd been doing therapy and got on good meds. Everyone was saying I was a completely different person. The drama continued with her swearing at me on Facebook, accusing me of keeping her father from her, holding the past against me, etc. Then, one day, a post saying she is wanted for felony theft and drug possession. My first thought was, well, now I see why she came here. To trick us into aiding and abetting a known felon. Yay! I was tired of all of it. Tired of working full-time to support adults who make all the wrong decisions. Tired of being treated like garbage by my husband every time his daughter gets bored and decides to stir up drama. Tired of cleaning up after them on top of my more than full-time job, and still being treated with disdain, using her childhood against me all the time. I get it. Don't forgive me. But I would not have agreed to support her if I knew I would have to keep paying that price too. Her boyfriend was arrested for shoplifting. After that, they broke up. She left her boyfriend here and took her dog back to Alaska. We still took care of the boyfriend and the van. I was so bitter because of all of it that I submitted a hint to the warrants division telling them when her plane landed so they could catch her. Fast forward 2 years later, and my husband brings me up on the phone with her and she says, well, she's no angel either, and tells her dad about that trooper call. I feel like it's just a way to make us fight because he was saying nice things about me. I get that my call was a shady thing to do. The issue I have is being blamed so harshly for this when the stepdaughter will never be held accountable for being wanted by the troopers in the first place.
Fucking yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm torn here. I'm torn. Because it's a yes and a no for me.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, it was kind of a shit thing to do, but at the same time, like, she fucking did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, why aren't you mad at the daughter for making a really poor decision in her life? But you're mad because the call I mean, be mad because of the call, but also be mad that your daughter's a felon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it goes to enabling your kids to do dumb shit and get away with it because you're just gonna forgive it.
Don't enable your kids.
Right?
Yeah.
Stop enabling your kids.
Call your kids out on their bullshit.
Side
Yes.
story. One of my exes, we will call him Ted. Ted was an addict, and when we met, my only rule was, if you start using, I leave again. Like, I leave. We were fine. Turns out he was using, and then I find out that his parents put him through rehab 4 times.
What the fuck?
And when he started using again, when I left, his parents were paying to go through a 5th time. Stop enabling. He's just doing it because you're gonna bail him out.
Yeah.
It's great you want to help your kid. I get it. He needs help. But there comes a point where you have to put your foot down and stop being walked over.
Yeah. I feel like if Killian ever got into some crazy bullshit, you would not hesitate to call him out on it.
I would not hesitate in the slightest. Like, it's one thing to help your kid. It's another. You raise your kids not so other people can stand to be around your kid when they're older.
Yeah, more or less.
OP is an ass. Brian says OP is an asshole. The father should have stepped in a long time ago and kicked his daughter out. Daughter's deaf an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all assholes.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that they were taking care of the boyfriend that she broke up with and
Right?
the man.
Like,
What?
who was forcing them to do that? They could have easily kicked the boyfriend out.
And not in, like, if I get it, you don't want to kick somebody out because, life's hard.
Yeah.
Got it. So give them resources and information. Give them, like, 2 weeks. Look, you got 2 weeks. Find yourself a place to go. But you can't stay here. Like,
Yeah.
simple. Options.
Yeah.
Alright, so this one is very simple. I already have an answer formulated in my head. I'm pretty sure as soon as you start hearing it, you're gonna get yours too. I was hanging out. So this is, am I the asshole for refusing to disclose my sex history and lashing out when people made assumptions?
Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I was hanging out with some classmates of mine from college for a few days ago. We were just chilling, having a chat about classes, anime, job prospects, normal stuff. At one point, the subject somehow turned to the sexual side. People were sharing sexual stories, at what age they had their first time, their kinks, how many people they've been with. I, however, am a virgin, and due to my age, I am ashamed of it, so I avoid talking about sex like the plague. At one point, someone pointed out that I was quiet throughout the whole conversation, and started inquiring me about my sexual past. I just answered that I'm not comfortable with sharing my intimate life with y'all, sorry, and tried leaving it at that, but people kept pestering me as I insisted on my stance and stood my ground. Then they started making assumptions like, I bet you have a very exotic kink, no one will judge you, you can speak up, are you gay, there's nothing wrong with that, did you hire a hooker? I eventually got fed up, and in the heat of the moment, after having my boundaries pressured to their limit, I snapped. I don't want to talk about this shit, you know why? Because I'm not a fucking sexually perverted slut like y'all, and I'm disgusted by all this shit. No, Rebecca, having had 10 dicks inside you in a single night is not cool or empowering. Also, fucking how? It's fucking repulsive and makes me not want to look you in the eyes ever again. That's basically what I said. My rant was way longer, but this about sums it up. At the time, I felt relieved after letting it all out, but now I feel bad for talking them in this manner. Am I the asshole? So, yes, you are very much the asshole, because slut shaming. They're also kind of assholes because, people respect people's boundaries.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Yes, you're the asshole for what you said. However.
Yeah, everyone sucks in that situation.
Yeah, they were also the asshole for pressing your boundaries.
Yeah, that everyone sucks.
You can
That
be
is-
mad, but you don't have to slut shame.
Yeah.
But seriously,
like-
how?
Yeah, it's like,
Right?
how do you have... You would think that you'd be way oversensitive at that point, and just...
Yeah, I mean, you know.
This
Yeah,
isn't judgment. This is just a question.
Yeah, no judgment at all.
No, it's not judgment. It's just how the fuck did you manage this? Because you would think that by a certain point you would just be pain. I mean, some people like pain in that situation.
I was gonna say,
so
don't kink shame them. Maybe they like it.
no, I'm not kink shaming again. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it could be that they enjoy the pain. So I mean, there is that. And that's a good question too. It's like, why not just walk away from the conversation at that point and say, like, make an excuse like, hey, I gotta go do this for another class, and just walk away. Like, you could easily have extricated yourself from that situation. Yeah, kink shaming is not a kink.
I agree with Hot Pocket. They're like, why are they letting the situation get so far? And even, like, if they're your friends, like, your friends shouldn't push your boundaries like that.
And they're not even necessarily friends. Like, it's just classmates. So, like, even more, why are you continuing the conversation? Why are you staying there for the conversation instead of making an excuse and just leave the situation?
Right.
And if they try to bring it up to you later, it's like, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to go get up and leave. Y'all continue your conversation. Simple as that. As I kind of tapped my microphone on accident.
How dare you?
But yeah, that one's just... Everyone's kind of the asshole in that one.
Yeah. Alright, my last two go deep into kind of like a...
Hardcore feminism?
Yeah,
or...
these both have to do with female bodily functions, so if anyone's uncomfortable with that, just so you know, it's coming. Both of mine last two have to deal with female bodily functions, so. The first one is, am I the asshole for yelling at my husband and telling him to get over himself after he threw away my tampon box?
Ah, this one, okay. I didn't read it, I saw it in passing, though.
I couldn't pass it up. We, me 27, him 30, have been together for three years, I'm assuming, and married for 2 months. So here's the thing. I used to use pads for my periods, but recently was able to start using tampons. I have a medical problem. In comparison, tampons work 10 times better for me, especially when I'm outside, say like at work or traveling. My husband Ryan hates them. He never truly gave a reason other than just say he doesn't feel comfortable with me using them. I didn't think it was a big deal at first since he said he hates a lot of stuff that I do but puts up with it anyway, except for this. He asked that I go back to using pads, but I made it clear since it's my body, then I get to decide. He just threw away some tampons he had access to, and I was getting upset. But to keep the peace, I just bought a box and hid it away from him. He somehow found it and threw it away. I didn't find that out until I had my period yesterday, and I realized I had no tampons to use. I was tired and too stressed. I just yelled at him after he admitted to throwing away the whole box. He argued that I already knew how he felt about this stuff, and yet I decided to still keep it around. I lost it and told him he had no right to do this and told him to get over himself already. He stared at me almost about to tear up or something and then walked out. He later went on about how we as a couple should take each other's discomfort into consideration and said he already tried to speak with me about those tampons, yet I brushed him off and insulted him and verbally abused him. He also said that if I still insist on using them, then I should do it while I'm outside the house, but I said it won't happen. I feel bad for how it played out, but I'm just at my wit's end and in so much pain I lashed out. Did I go too far here? Does he have a valid point or not? Am I the asshole?
Absolutely not.
No. Yeah, not the divorce. Yeah, not the asshole. It's none of your fucking business. First of all, why are you uncomfortable with her using tampons? That's just fucking weird. It's her own fucking body. She can do what she wants. What is wrong with you? And they're fucking expensive. Have you seen how much they cost?
Probably
Fuck
not.
you.
He probably avoids that section of the store like the plague.
Right? Throw that man out with the trash. Absolutely. Not only that, most men don't know this, but tampons can help alleviate cramps. And women, like, the cramps, men don't understand. They just don't get it.
Some of my favorite TikToks are of guys putting those
Yes. Oh my god.
Yes.
I forget what they're called, but we actually have one, and I really want Brian to try it.
Can you like make a YouTube video? Because like I want to see it too.
Okay.
You know the shocking machine that you usually put on to shock your shoulders?
Oh, the tens.
Yeah, the tens.
TENS machine.
Because there's videos where guys are putting a TENS machine on their, like, abdomen area, and, then the girls doing it, and the girls are like, yeah, this is nothing, and the guys are like, I'm in so much pain.
Yeah, they're like dying, and we're just like, yeah, cool. This is like a Tuesday for me. What do you mean?
I feel like this genius. Yeah, no sarcasm there. Is one of those amazing people who think that a tampon's gonna provide actual pleasure.
That drives me nuts. I've seen that people say that. I'm like, are you high?
Yeah,
Are you
I feel
dumb?
I feel like that's probably what makes him uncomfortable. It's like, my dude, I don't think you understand how any of this actually works.
Literally.
Probably not.
He needs that gif of, that's not how this works, that's not how any of this works.
I've had it done to me for physical therapy, and it doesn't feel that. Yeah, I don't think it does either.
I believe that.
I don't know if it's just because I grew up with really painful cramps to the point where I had to go home. I was in so much pain, like, in school and stuff. But, like, yeah, I don't think it remotely is the same at all.
I'm just gonna sit over here in cramp-free land, like, never had period cramps.
I don't get them anymore because I yeeted my uterus right out of my body.
I'm jealous I'm jealous of the yeeted uterus.
I'm also jealous of the yeeted uterus.
Uterus. I've never had period cramps in my life.
I envy you.
Same.
I
fetal position on the floor cramps. Like, I hate you.
I think last time I
Love
just
you
like
too.
laid on the couch miserably for the
Love you
3
too,
days.
Hot Pocket.
Nothing
You.
touched my cramps.
Yeet you.
Yeah.
You know, if you can yeet me, fucking do it.
Honestly, not gonna lie, best decision I ever made. And I had to fight for it. We're gonna talk about this in the podcast in June? But, like,
yeah, I think June.
I had
May,
to
June.
fight for I had to fight for the yeet. Oh my god.
Brian can yeet you. I believe he can yeet you.
I believe it.
He can try.
But I had to fight for it. My doctor wanted to do an ablation. I was like, listen, I'm not doing it. I'm not going through the pain just for it to fucking come back. No. Take my uterus.
Take it out.
Just take it.
it.
Fine, just take it.
There's also other things that I would like to be reduced severely, and also yeet the uterus.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm doing that too soon. I should get my date this week. My surgery
Fuck
date
you.
This week.
Congrats.
Okay, first off. Can we talk about that for a second? I'm just going to share because I already shared. So I thought they were a G cup because that's what I was measured at.
Yeah.
And then when you go to a plastic surgeon to get breast reduction surgery, especially when it's covered by insurance.
They
yeah,
measure
it's just
you?
the permissions in the chat, Brian. So they have to measure you. Because after a certain size, and also like the technique of the surgery is different compared to the size. So like
Makes sense.
I won't get the same surgery my mom did because mine are bigger than she was. And she measured. She's like, "You said you're a G cup?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I just had a lady here with a K cup, and you measure bigger than her." And I'm like, "No, don't tell me that." I was, why? Why would you even tell me that? But yeah, so I'll have my surgery date hopefully this week when insurance improves everything. Yeah, that's what I said. I make coffee. I make coffee. That's why Data likes me. I have a clip of him even saying it was my tits that attracted him.
Incredible.
Gotta mansplain that. I know, right? Have to mansplain the K cup. I make coffee, Brian. I just make really good coffee. No. Oh. Hold on.
What is that?
That's gotta be Data.
Data just wanted some milk with that coffee. Oh, Brian.
That's either Data calling or that's her groceries calling.
Probably groceries.
Probably.
Okay.
Anyway. Timeless.
Alright. Am I the asshole for telling my friend she's been a shitty friend lately? One of my 21F best friends, 20F, I'll call her Jess, has recently not been a great friend, at least in my opinion. We've been really close since we met at uni in 2019 and would spend every day together between classes and going out for food, watching movies, etc. University has just gone back to being in person since COVID hit, and everything went online back in 2020. During COVID, we barely saw each other except for FaceTime. Since we've been back at uni, it's been normal, except for the last couple of weeks. She's been kind of flaky lately, not coming to class and blowing me off last minute for plans with lunch and stuff, but not messaging me until after the fact. I've told her it's annoying and I'd rather her just tell me if something comes up than me wait around to get blown off last minute. The most recent issue, which led me to tell her she's not being a good friend lately, happened last week, and / the beginning of this week, depending on when the week begins, if you go by Sunday or Monday, as this happened Monday. I sprained my ankle and have been on crutches since. I asked if she would be in on Wednesday, and Jess said she would be in at 9. I said that's great, as I'm on crutches and wouldn't have bothered going in to struggle around campus on my own. Jess said that's fine and she'll ring me when she's on her way. It gets to 8:30 and we have half an hour until our lecture starts. I text her and ask her when she's going to get here. Another 15 minutes go by and I've not heard anything from her, but she's been posting online, so I call her. My call goes straight to voicemail. When it gets to 5 minutes before our lecture starts, I call her again and it goes straight to voicemail again. I decide to just go into lecture and make my way through the doors where I start to struggle. One of the other students helps me out with the doors and stuff, which is great, but still no word from Jess. After the lecture ends, I call again and she picks up before hanging straight up. I text her when I get home saying she's being really flaky and kind of a shitty friend when I've tried to communicate with her. She still hasn't opened my message, but instead flew to Paris and has been there all weekend. I only know because she posted about going since her boyfriend was struggling mentally after some exam stuff he didn't do as well in as he wanted. I feel like a bit of an asshole for saying she's a shit friend when she obviously has her own life and things to deal with as well, but at the same time it wouldn't have been difficult for her to just message me back and say something has come up. It's beginning to feel like a bit of a one-sided friendship.
Yeah, no, definitely not the asshole. I mean, yes, okay, this is kind of tricky. Yeah, and that's it too, is when you say you're gonna do something, if something comes up last minute, fucking understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Life happens. Shit happens. That's life. Tell someone, and, okay, and this is the thing that got me. When she said that she called twice and it went straight to voicemail. I'm sorry, that's not her phone being dead, because obviously she's, well, maybe it could be her phone was dead, but the third time when she picked up and then hung up immediately.
Yeah, that just shows that she was intentionally ignoring the call.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but if someone's messaging you and just be like, hey, I know you said you were coming to class at 9. Can you help me out? You said, since you said you were going to help me out. Yeah, no. You can just text me like, hey, something came up. I can't actually help you after all. I'm so sorry about this. Yada, 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 so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's not that hard to just send a quick message of, hey, I'm not going to make it.
Hey, something came up with my boyfriend, or something came up with this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
Whatever the fucking reason is. Even if you're fucking lying. I mean, don't lie about that, because, that's still really shitty to do.
Mm-hmm.
But to make your friend feel better about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Shitty friend is shitty friend.
Yeah.
Shitty friend is shitty friend.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Boy, howdy. Fucking hairs. Am I the asshole for not letting my abusive dad see my dog after years? My dad was very untrustworthy, unreliable, and irresponsible. Growing up, I was continuously left outside and also ignored. He brought home a puppy as a present for me on my 12th birthday, and treated the dog the exact same way. I'd come home from school and see the puppy had bruises all over him. He'd been just left on the roadside. My dad said he threw him out of the car when he was leaving for work. I didn't understand why he would do that, and I lashed out at him. He compensated the dog for me for doing this and told me I was selfish for forgetting about him. He basically put the blame on me for something he had done. I felt like it was my fault. I didn't see that dog for 2 weeks. I was thankful to have a good support system at school. I told the principal what had happened. My dad was brought into the principal's office. He lashed out at her in front of me. He then took me out of the school, claiming that my principal was a dumbass and didn't know shit. Aside from this, he continued to tell me horrible things about myself and the dog, calling me worthless, telling me I'm too stupid to raise an animal, and so much else. I had enough, and at this point, I called my mom and decided to stay with her. I didn't want to do this because my mom barely had any space at her house. She had only bought a 1-bedroom since her divorce. I took the dog with me for emotional support. When I was leaving for college, my dad demanded to see the dog. I denied his request, and he threatened to hurt himself if I didn't give it to him now that I was leaving. I couldn't keep the dog, so I just gave it to my girlfriend. I didn't want a trashy, nasty, disgusting person like him to have it. Was I wrong in my action? I do feel guilty. I didn't attend the funeral either. I watched an episode of Modern Family instead. Honestly?
I don't think that they're the asshole.
I don't either. I really don't view that as being someone that's an asshole.
Like, oh, you were shitty to me and said bad things about my dog, and now you want to see my dog? No, fuck you.
Not only that, their dad said he threw the dog out of the car when he was leaving for work.
Yeah, like, who does that?
The puppy had bruises all over him. I'm sorry, when you do something like that, that sticks with you.
Yeah.
That sticks with your child, who is the owner of that dog. Why would they leave that dog with you when they don't know if you're going to do the same exact thing, or even worse to the dog? Because very clearly they still love that animal.
Yeah.
Feelings about animal shit. It's also why I will not leave my dog.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I don't understand some people.
Me neither. Some people should not have kids, and some people should not have pets.
Some people should not have both.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to sit at the kids' table? Last weekend, I, 22 and female, was at a family party at my aunt's house to celebrate my cousin's, her son's, birthday. It was a nice time, as always, and when it was time to eat, I got my plate and started heading downstairs where everyone was gathered since the kitchen is upstairs and the family room is down. Anyway, my aunt rushes over and asks me where I'm going. I said downstairs, like everyone else, and she told me I had to sit at the table so I wouldn't spill anything or make a mess. I didn't like this because I'm 22 years old, and I know how to not make a mess, and also because the only people sitting at the table were my 3 little cousins who are 13, 10, and 6 years old. I told her again I didn't have to sit at the table, but she stood in front of me and blocked my way downstairs, so I just gave up and sat with my little cousins. Someone told my aunt the cooler was out of water, so she went back in the kitchen to get more. Since she couldn't see me, I decided to go downstairs anyway. About 5 minutes later, she comes downstairs and sees me sitting on the couch eating, and demands for me to go back upstairs to eat at the table. I tried to remain respectful, but I said I was too old to eat at the kids' table, and I didn't understand why I was expected to eat with them when my sister, 24 female, didn't have to. My aunt just huffed and went back upstairs and eventually sat down with her own plate of food. She seemed a little upset about it the rest of the party. In the car on the way home, my dad said I should have just sat at the kids' table and listened to my aunt because it was her house. I didn't respond because I didn't want to drag the issue out, but I thought it was ridiculous that they were making this such a big deal. Am I the asshole?
No.
No.
I'm sorry.
I missed it, but I'm going to go with no.
Person that was 22 years old was being told that they need to sit at the kids' table because the aunt is afraid that they're going to spill the food, instead of sitting downstairs in the living room with all of the adults. and their older sister, by 2 years, was allowed to sit down in the living room, but they were not.
That's the gist of it, yeah.
So, yeah, I would still say definitely not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
So, Hot Pocket, that means your aunt and cousin would sit at the kids' table.
Should sit at the kids' table.
I saw that one. It's ridiculous.
Completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a grown adult. I might be the youngest adult, but I'm still an adult. I'm not sitting at the kids' table.
Yeah, we're not going to get into my feelings about that because I still feel like I'm a fucking child, even though I'm 30 fucking years old.
No, I
Anyway.
get it. I get it. But I still also
I was
like
at the kids' table until I had a kid.
don't want to sit at the kids' table.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was at the kids' table until I had a kid.
It's tough being the youngest adult because sometimes that does put you at the kids' table.
Yeah.
It really is.
I guess that one was short and sweet and to the point.
I guess mine and then Kiss gets to read her last two?
I guess so.
Last one, yeah.
Or do you want to read your last one first?
No, go ahead.
Am I the asshole for exposing my husband and ex to their daughter? I, 34, or female 34, have been with my husband, Carl, 37, for 2 years. He shares custody of his 14-year-old daughter with his ex-wife, Natalie. Carl and Natalie are on perfect terms. They're pretty good co-parents and good friends. They speak on a daily basis and visit each other, too. I'm like a second mom to my stepdaughter, and we're pretty close. However, recently, Natalie started acting strange, like throwing away clothes, electronics I buy for my stepdaughter, or fill her head with ideas that I don't care about her just because I miss a school event. I'm a nurse, so always busy. I told Carl, but he said Natalie would never do anything like that, and it's all in my head. Basically defended her and called me the crazy one. Fast forward to some days ago, it was my stepdaughter's birthday, but I had to cover a long shift, so I left the gift I bought. I can speak English. I left the gift I bought, which was an iPhone, with Carl to give her later at the party that was held at Natalie's home. I called my stepdaughter then, but kept getting rejected till my number got blocked. I was confused. I called Carl, and he said everything was fine. I asked why my stepdaughter blocked my number, and he said, I don't know, what did you do to her? I got off my shift the next day and didn't find my stepdaughter home. Carl said she wanted to stay with her mom for a while. I wanted to go see her, but he said I should rest instead. The next day she came, but refused to speak with me. I had enough. I entered her room and demanded to tell her to tell me what was wrong. She said her mom told me I forgot her about her birthday, that then didn't care enough to get her a gift. I said I did bring a gift, which was the iPhone that was in her hands. She said I was lying because her mom bought her the iPhone. I immediately got Carl involved, and he said the iPhone was from Natalie and that I should admit I forgot to bring a gift. I felt so horrible I almost cried. I asked why he was lying, and he said I was the one lying. I got the receipt and showed it to my stepdaughter. She apologized to me, but yelled at her dad and called her mom to argue with her. I exited the room. Carl went off on me saying that Natalie had no money to buy a gift for their daughter, and told a small lie, really not small, about buying the iPhone, and I shouldn't have went out of my way to expose her and him for trying to keep their daughter happy. I argued that I paid for this iPhone, and just because Natalie couldn't afford a gift doesn't mean she could steal mine and turn my stepdaughter on me. He yelled that I just ruined his daughter's relationship with her mom. He insisted he's always made sure that his daughter and her mom have the best relationship, and that I could have just bought another phone to get right with my stepdaughter later. He kept saying I did this to get back at Natalie and defended her although she created this situation. Now he won't even speak to me other than to call me petty and immature.
Divorce.
Yeah, that is absolutely a divorce. And I was reading some of the comments because I was like, I'm curious to see what people were saying. It's like, yeah, it's the first one's like, are you sure he's your husband? Not the asshole. He sounds like he's using you for money and that's his real family. You have a serious significant other problem. Honestly, yeah. This is a situation where you fucking run.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, that's, like, again, it was a shitty thing to do, but, again, communication?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it sound like you're so defensive of your ex?
Right?
Yeah. That's one where it's just like, why are you being such a staunch defender of this woman? You clearly got divorced.
Like, I understand wanting to co-parent and be civil for your kid's sake and stuff, but like,
There's a line, like, when your
right.
spouse
Right.
that you divorced, ex-spouse, I guess, um, is doing shitty stuff like that, like, you don't defend them.
And then,
Especially when
yeah,
they're
exactly.
turning your kid against your current spouse.
And that's what I was gonna say. And then defending her when by saying she wouldn't do that, and that his current spouse is the crazy one, when his ex-wife is throwing away gifts or items, not necessarily gifts, items that the current spouse has bought for her stepdaughter, or or trying to fill her head with lies when, you know, a nurse has 12. I'm pretty sure nurses tend to have 12 on, 12 off days.
Mm-hmm.
Where they work 12-hour fucking shifts. The daughter knows this. And it's not exactly easy to get off of work when you're a fucking nurse.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what in the actual fuck? Yeah, and this is one that actually really stuck out to me for comments. It seems like you're the mistress, and your husband and his ex are acting like as a couple. The fact that he lied about you and actively participated in ruining your relationship with his daughter is crazy. He could have bought a gift and said it was from her bio mom instead of stealing yours.
Yeah.
He's also extremely dumb. Did he really not expect you to bring out the receipts? And he thinks you could have bought another phone? Why would the daughter need 2 phones? Or were you supposed to wait 2 years and then buy a phone? The fact that he's okay with hurting his daughter by making her believe that you don't care about her is crazy. I'm sure he would have been happier getting a cheap present from she would have been happier getting a cheap present from her mom and a phone from you than with getting a phone from her mom and nothing from you. It obviously ruined her birthday since she was so upset about it. Your husband is a thief, a liar, and an asshole. He's also petty and immature. The fact that he has the nerve to call you petty and immature is astounding.
Yeah, that's a disgusting behavior, honestly.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
But again, why the fuck are you completely defending this woman?
Yeah, there's no reason for that.
Yeah, none.
And then meeting and spending time together still.
Yeah.
Again, why the fuck are you still? Why did you get divorced in the first place if this is still the behavior that you're going to exhibit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like, yeah, easily divorce.
Reminds me of when I read, I think it was a couple weeks ago now, where the wife still had a good relationship with her ex-husband, and so they would every like Sunday or whatever they would get together and just have family time with the daughter. And the current, I don't remember if they were married or not, but like the current husband or boyfriend or whatever was, he was pretty okay with this. Like, he would just go and do his own thing on those Sundays. And then he had somewhat recently started talking to an ex again, just as friends. And so he would go and hang out with her on those Sundays when his wife, girlfriend, whatever, was hanging out with her ex-husband. And he didn't immediately tell her that he was going to see an ex, and so she got pissed at him. But he's like, am I the asshole for hanging out with an ex? Well, my wife is hanging out with an ex. It's like, neither of you are communicating.
Yeah.
Both are assholes.
Completely both.
I think it's also like a respect thing. Like,
yeah.
I can still be friends with exes, but like I'm not gonna go hang out with them.
Yeah.
Like, and if you do, like, you just be honest with your significant other. Be like, hey, I'm gonna hang out with this person because we're still friends or something.
All right, say it with me. Ready?
Communication.
So many things can be avoided if couples just talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, just talk. Just talk it out. All right. My last one. Our last one. Am I the asshole My boyfriend places sheets on all of the furniture when I'm on my period.
Oh, jeez.
So my 24-year-old, wait, yeah, so me, 24-year-old female, boyfriend, 28-year-old male, is really protective over his furniture. I assume it's because they're white. This really shows when I'm on my period. My boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all of the chairs and lounges. I feel like if I were to leak, I'd just leak through the sheets anyway. And he makes me sleep in the guest bedroom on the first 2 days of my period, the heaviest days. And then he even asked me about when was the last time I changed my tampon.
What?
I'm a grown woman who has had her period since the age of 12. I don't need somebody to remind me when to change a tampon. When he does this, I just feel embarrassed, and it gives me the vibe that he cares more about materialistic objects than me. I'm not even allowed to cuddle him during my period. He acts like I'm just gushing like a waterfall or something. I started my period yesterday, and as I expected, the sheets come out. I decide to put my foot down, and I take off all the sheets off the furniture, which got my boyfriend irritated, to which I told him that he needs to stop treating me like a leaking juice box. He says that he's saying that I have no right to prevent him from keeping his expensive furniture clean, and that I'm the one acting like a jerk. I need to know if I'm the asshole. No!
No.
Date better
Absolutely not.
men!
He sounds just overly controlling.
Not only that, it sounds like he has no idea anything about a woman's body.
No.
You make her sleep in the guest bedroom? Hello?
And no cuddling. Like most of the time, if I'm having cramps, I won't let Brian touch me. But that's me. That's my choice.
Fair.
Like, he's not being like, ew, you're gross. He's like, let me cuddle you.
Right. Right. Like,
You just need to yeet the whole fucking woman. Man.
Hello?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Birds, brain. You just need to yeet the whole ass man.
Yeet that man.
Like, he is clearly really uncomfortable with the female body and its functions. Like,
At that point, that man doesn't need a fucking girlfriend. He needs
Right.
a whole ass sex education lecture.
Right.
like, I understand wanting to protect your furniture,
Mhm.
but then conversate with your partner about things that you can do that won't make them feel uncomfortable or embarrassed or humiliated that they have bodily functions.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's natural, normal, and you making a woman feel like a freak for something that her body does naturally. Fuck off. Get a new man.
Mm-hmm.
Better yet, be a lesbian. They understand.
Plot twist, Hot Pocket. It's the same person.
Did you write this post? Was that you? Did we find your Reddit? I just can't. Like, what does he do with other bodily functions that women have? Like, what if she burps? Or, God forbid, what if she passed gas? Oh my God.
Kiss. They
What if
can't
she
know
had
that
to
we
poop?
fart.
What if she had to poop? No pooping allowed for the women.
You can't poop in my house. That's disgusting. What if
This-
it smells? What if you clog the toilet?
Fucking Brian coming in clutch again.
Oh my God.
Brian says a queef has been unheard of for that man.
That's like as bad as the men who think we can just hold our period and
Right, like
Oh
that's
my
not how that
what?
works. It's gonna come out.
like what?
Brian fucking.
Poot poot. That kills me. Like, honestly, it's like my biggest pet peeve of schools. Like, I saw someone say it best on TikTok once. Like, I didn't have the sex talk, but in sex education, I saw more men's penises than I did anything about a woman's anatomy, and that is why men and women don't understand their own bodies.
That is accurate.
Yes, just like women get shamed because they bleach their underwear because their pH level
Oh,
is
I
actually
saw
normal and
Oh my
healthy.
gosh.
Yep.
Like that just happens. Like we have no control over it.
We're magic.
can-
Just accept that we're magic.
Yeah.
Okay. We're like our vaginas are like alchemy. Like, okay, we can just turn things into things. Okay.
Yep.
You came in at a very interesting time, Kage. Hello to the
Like-
conversation.
Oh, whoa. Just shove a stone up there and turn this iron into gold. I mean, if you do your Kegels, I'm just saying. We can make diamonds.
I was gonna go there too. I was gonna fucking go there if you didn't kiss.
Harry Potter will be coming for you, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
Brian
No.
says.
No.
It's funny because as I grew up and obviously my school failed me in sex education, but as I obviously learned as I grew and got older, I worry about future generations. I really do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dude. There's a guy on TikTok. He does a lot of stories from the ER. I can't remember his fucking name, but he's so funny. And he did a couple about sex education, and he's like, I had a female come into the ER who was worried about being pregnant or having an STD, and he was asking her normal questions, like if you use protection. She's like, yeah, and he washes it after every time.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like, "Wait,
I've heard that one.
Oh my god, no.
She's like, yeah, he takes the condom off and he washes it before the next use. What?
No.
What?
Those are not. No.
Oh my god.
And
And, you
I'd like
know,
to say it's not just the United States with a shitty healthcare
It's
health
not.
education,
It's not.
because one of my UK friends was telling me about her and her boyfriend, and they didn't have another condom, and they wanted to make sure that it didn't have a leak in it, or what, a hole in it. So before they used
I
it, they
can
filled
see
it up
where
with
this
water.
is going.
Oh, for the love of God.
Oh lord.
And it also makes me realize, our older generations, it's not just us, don't worry, because our older generations they weren't either, because their thing was, you don't talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So, my mother, super fucking uneducated on things, and I'm just like, how did you raise
And
me, and
she's
how am I
in-
not pregnant?
was
How was
gonna
I not
say,
pregnant at
and
15? Honestly,
Wasn't your mother also a nurse?
Okay, so I'm just gonna go back to the bleaching of the underwear because it happened to my sister. Sorry, Lauren, don't listen to this. And my mom was like, "We gotta take you to the doctor." What? No, she was normal. She was normal. There was nothing wrong with her. She wasn't. I think she was in nursing school when this happened. I don't know, but still, she was also a different kind of nurse. Obviously, you have your basic stuff, so that was something that was basic, but I just can't. Would like to note how wild all of that is when you read out of context. Yeah. Yeah, so, babe, that's what I was saying. We were taught certain things at school, but we were taught more about a man's body than a female's body. There are so many things that females do not know about their own bodies that should have been taught to us in sex education.
Yep. Not to mention, when we were taught about sex education, most of it, now I don't know how this is in, more liberal areas, but given that it's Florida, when we were taught about sex, we were taught mostly about the problems that sex causes, like STDs.
Yep. What was that, Mean Girls? The sex education in Mean Girls?
Oh, yeah. Don't have sex.
Just don't have
you
sex.
will die.
You'll die.
You'll get pregnant and you'll die.
Yeah, more or less. I mean,
just don't do it.
Literally, they showed so many pictures of gonorrhea and herpes and all that shit. But, the thing that doesn't get talked about in sex education, and I don't know if this has actually fucking changed, it probably fucking has it, at least here, they don't talk about,
Bruno.
Fucking... God damn it. They don't talk about same-sex.
No,
they don't talk about gender identity. They don't talk about sexuality. And that's a big fucking topic that you need to talk about. And it's getting fucking worse because there's a don't say gay bill here in Florida.
You need to get out of there, man.
God, the whole... So,
I fucking wish.
I've heard this said that bad kiss... I don't know what I did.
Because we
I
don't talk about Bruno.
It's I heard someone said this too, that same-sex partners can't catch STDs from each other. Are you fucking stupid? Are you stupid? Do you actually think that? Or is that just like a line you give to people? Like, on that note, be out for the night. However, in April, Thomas, would you like to introduce this one?
Oh, yes. So we're going to be talking about strong female characters in books and just movies and just all of the things, media, video games. And we're going to have super special guest, Jillian Moody, who's the author of the SEPA Project and Quanto Rising. And are we gonna do that in here? Or are we gonna live stream it to Twitch?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know what we're doing.
TBD.
Okay. And the date is also TBD.
Yep.
Yes.
So I'll get another. There'll be 2 authors in the chat for that one. Yay! Even though I'm not published, but
We'll have Ark, the author, and a published author.
I am published online, but it's dirty things that...
You haven't told anyone about, and we don't know where to find it.
No, I told people. I just didn't tell them my name. I also have poetry published. I just don't talk about it.
I'm published online as well, but it's also fan fiction.
Just a bunch of authors. Mine is... No, I don't want to even talk about it because someone might find it.
I just want to find your smut, Kiss!
It's a deep, dark, secret smut, okay? Timeless, you have to tell us, did you ever write anything?
Yeah.
So we're all authors.
I've started many a story and not finished them. I think I have a story that I tried to get published a long time ago. It's super cringy though, looking back on it. I'm glad it didn't. I may or may not have a story on my old DeviantArt account. I don't know, and I have lots of poetry on there too.
So, author. We have an author podcast next month.
Yeah.
I've been wanting, every so often I'll get the urge to write again, and I'm like, I want to continue a story that I never finished, and then I go and look at it, and that's all I do is I look at it. Like, I
need to continue my story because I keep getting asked for
8 years ago, I had a Facebook memory that popped up recently from 8 years ago. I was like, I want to write a dystopian, but I don't know what it's going to be about, or why it's a dystopian, or what happened. And it was kind of like loosely inspired by Divergent. But I have no idea what it was going to be about. I don't think I ever actually started it. I had just posted ideas about it on Facebook.
That's fair.
It's
I need to start
fair.
again.
I started another story based on a VR game that I kind of want to continue.
I have a D&D inspired story that, besides the one that's based off the Storm Kingdom campaign, but I have another one that features a Hexblood monk and a fire genasi druid.
I miss my water genasi.
Your very short-lived water genasi?
No, I had one in a campaign with my sister. I can't remember if my character died or we started a new campaign. But I just flicked water at everybody all the time.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I think you've told us about that one before.
Yeah, her name was New Lara. But yeah, so we have that one, and then in June we're gonna have one that we're definitely gonna be live with because I want to hear other people's stories, and it's going to be about basically medical malpractice and doctors not taking their patients, especially women, not serious.
Yeah, and
what are we in for May?
May, we think we're gonna talk about Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's right.
May is we are gonna talk we're gonna talk about and tell you guys some FNAF lore.
Which that'll be me and Giz helming that one because between the two of us, I'm pretty sure we're fucking lore junkies.
I do gotta catch up on some of it. But,
yeah, MatPat's posted a couple new videos.
I literally every once in a while will get the urge to watch, and I will literally binge watch all 50 fucking episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
talking about it.
I will gladly do a night where I just put them on because I have them all in order.
I'll join in on that.
I mean, you kind of have to so you can understand.
True.
Yeah, that's what I love about FNAF because on the surface it doesn't look like it, but when you delve into that lore, oh my god, it makes it so much better.
there's so much of it, and then a lot of it's been retconned, and then new stuff's been added. That's just like, hey, look, remember that old stuff? Guess what? We're bringing it fucking back. And then there's all the fucking books and the AR game. I need to play that more. The AR game's actually kind of entertaining.
I forgot about the AR game and I never got it.
It's actually
it is very complicated.
It is extremely complicated, but yeah, the AR game's actually pretty entertaining, and it actually has ties into Security Breach.
I haven't played that yet.
I want to play it too. I have all of the FNAF games except for the VR one and that one.
I only have the 2 free ones. I just haven't bought the other ones and played them. Maybe I'll do that. Or maybe I'll take... Well, no, I want to sew. Now you go on when school goes on spring break. Maybe I'll do that at night. I'll play the different games and get through all the nights.
Do it.
Because I mean, I
have a hard time with the third one. It pisses me off to no fucking end, and the fourth one. But the second one, I have down to a mechanical rhythm. Like,
I know, in theory, from watching Markiplier play so fucking much.
I was gonna say Markiplier is the only reason I beat 2 so fast, because I followed his rhythm.
Listen, I was falling asleep to those videos for the longest fucking time. I'm to the point where I can put on the FNAF video, his FNAF playlist, and just be like, okay, good night, even as Bonnie's screaming, Foxy's screaming, it's like, yeah, I don't care, good night. Now, when it actually comes to me playing, I don't think it'll be the same.
Probably not.
Because, like, I watched Pizzeria Simulator ones, and I still, I watched all of those videos of his for a lot. When I played it myself, I still managed to hit my knee on my desk. Because first fucking night, Molten Freddy came out.
Yeah, I think I had that issue with Pizza Simulator too.
No, I mean, that's because I think that's because my health and safety wasn't up high enough.
Yeah.
Because, like, that first night, nothing should be in your fucking pizzeria.
Right.
Anyway, that's something we'll get into in fucking May.
Yep. So, stay tuned. Follow us in the places of Twitch and Twitter and TikTok for updates on when dates. Updates of dates. On when those are going to be.
Dates.
Yes. So thanks for hanging out, guys, and talking to us. We're Girl Talk with Girl Spot, and we'd like to go off on rants.
We sure do.
Absolutely.
Welcome to our podcast. See you guys next time, no?
Bye.
Okay, bye.